Hello everyone. In this talk, I'm going to talk about a problem called simultaneous max cut. This work shows that simultaneous max cut is harder to approximate than the well-known max cut problem. And this joint work with Subhash Kaul. Okay, so let's get started. So we all know what the max cut problem is, but let me define it formally here. So in max cut, we are given a weighted graph G, and we are interested in a partition of the vertex set into two parts that maximizes the total weight of the crossing edges. And this is a well-known NP-hard problem, and hence there is no polynomial time algorithm that solves this problem exactly unless P equals to NP. So therefore, people are interested in studying the approximation algorithm for max cut. And an alpha approximation algorithm for max cut is an algorithm which always returns a solution with cost at least alpha times the optimum cost. Since this is a maximization problem, larger the alpha, better is the approximation algorithm. Okay, so here is another view of looking at the problem. In this view, we associate a unit vector to every vertex in the graph, and now every partition of the vertex set corresponds to an embedding of these vectors on the real line in a natural way. Okay, in the sense that for any given partition, all the vectors in one part they point to one direction, and all the vectors in another part in the other part they will point to another direction on the serial line. Thus, for a given embedding, consider the following quantity. It is the weighted sum over the edges, the square distance between the vectors of its endpoints, and it is normalized by a factor of 4. Now, this exactly corresponds to the cut value of the corresponding partition. And to see this, for every edge which is cut, in the sense that for every edge whose two endpoints they lie in different parts, so the vectors associated with its endpoints they are at a distance of 2 from each other, and hence we get the corresponding weight from the summation. And similarly for the edges which are not cut, we get 0 in the expression. Okay, so this expression precisely calculates the cut value of a given partition. Since this the optimal R1 embedding maximizing this summation is exactly equal to the max cut value, it is still NP hard to find such an optimal embedding. Okay, so although finding the optimal R1 embedding is NP hard, one can find an optimal Rn embedding in polynomial time. So here n is the number of vertices. So we can in fact find an embedding of these vectors in n-dimensional space which maximizes this expression that we are after. Right? And this can be done by solving a semi-definite program. So here the objective value is precisely the expression we are interested in, and it's clear that it is a linear combination of the inner product of the vectors, and this can be solved optimally in polynomial time. So I should mention here that we can only solve this in polynomial time up to an additive error of inverse polynomial. However, this will have a little effect on the approximation factor, and this can be ignored. Okay, so this only gives an optimal Rn embedding, but recall we are interested in finding a cut in a graph, and so here is the rounding algorithm by Gomans and Williamsons, and it's simple and clever. It's so the algorithm is just take a random hyperplane passing through origin. Okay, and so every such hyperplane partitions the vectors into two parts, and the algorithm returns these two parts as a solution to the max cut instance. And this can be analyzed, and this gives a 0.878567 approximation algorithm for max cut. So let's denote this constant by alpha Gomans Williamsons. Okay, so let me now define the main problem that we study in this work. This is called simultaneous max cut problem. In this problem, we are given a collection of constantly many graphs, in this case 3 graphs, on a same set of vertices. The edge sets and edge weights are different for these graphs. So given such a collection, we are interested in a partition of the vertex set such that the partition is fair to all the graphs. So fair with respect to the cut value in the respective graph. And there are multiple notions of fairness. In this work, we are interested in the following quantity. It is the maximum over all the partitions of the vertex set, the minimum cut value from the given collection of the graphs. In other words, we are interested in a cut which is good for all the graphs. And this simultaneous max cut is one problem from a class of problems called simultaneous constraint satisfaction problems. That is, you can study any constraint satisfaction problem in a similar simultaneous setting, and max cut is just one example of it. So let's see what the approximation algorithms that are known for max cut and the simultaneous max cut problem. For max cut, we saw a 0.878567 approximation algorithm, and there is a matching hardness result by Khoth, Kindler, Mossel and O'Donnell. This hardness result is based on the unique games conjecture, which I will state in a few slides. But what this means is that one cannot improve the algorithm of Goemans and Williamson unless the unique games conjecture is false. So of course the same hardness result holds for simultaneous max cut, as simultaneous max cut is at least as hard as max cut. And from the algorithmic side, along with Koperty and Sachadeva, we gave a 0.5 approximation algorithm for simultaneous max cut. In that work, we gave a general algorithm that works for every constraint satisfaction problem, and that algorithm yields a 0.5 approximation algorithm for simultaneous max cut. In 2008, along with Khoth and Thiruvenkatachari, we improved the approximation algorithm to a factor of 0.878. So more precisely, the approximation factor tends to 0.878 at the expense of the running time, which is still polynomial. Okay, so it seems that everything is known for simultaneous max cut. So what is there to study? Now, if you look carefully in the gray area, there is still a gap between the approximation algorithm and the hardness factor. So although the gap is very small, it was kind of annoying that our approximation factor couldn't match this Goemans and Williamson approximation factor for max cut. And this is where this work comes into picture. So this is our main theorem. What we show is that the simultaneous max cut is strictly harder to approximate than max cut. More precisely, assuming the unique games conjecture, it is hard to approximate simultaneous max cut within a factor of this alpha Goemans-Williamson minus 10 to the minus 5. So this is some constant which is strictly less than the approximation factor for max cut. I should mention that we did not try to optimize this constant 10 to the minus 5, and it can very well be improved. However, closing this gap fully is still an interesting open question. Yeah, so a few remarks. Our hardness results holds for 3 graphs, whereas the 0.878 approximation algorithm that I mentioned earlier, it works for any constantly many graphs. Thus, in some sense, our theorem statement is stronger than what is stated. And in terms of NP hardness, Hasta's result from 2001 is still the best result for max cut, which is 0.941, and hence it is also the best known result for simultaneous max cut. Okay, so here is what the unique games is. It's an optimization problem, and the input consists of a set of 2 variate linear equations over some field fp, and the task is to find an assignment to these variables that satisfies as many constraints as possible. Okay. And this is the famous conjecture by Khoth, which says that this problem is hard in a precise sense. So it says that even if the instance is mostly satisfiable, it is still NP hard to find an assignment that satisfies, say, 0.01% of the constraints. So this constant 99.99% and 0.01% are arbitrary, and they can be made arbitrarily close to say 100 and 0 by increasing the field size. Okay, so given a well-established literature on the hardness result based on the unique games conjecture, in most cases it suffices to study the so-called dictatorship test gadget, which I will describe next. So this is just a structural statement about existence of certain graphs. So what is dictatorship test gadget? A dictatorship test gadget for max cut is a graph on the Boolean hypercube. So the vertex set is 0, 1 to the m. And in this case, any Boolean function from say 0, 1 to the m to 0, 1, it naturally corresponds to a cut in this graph. Thus, I will interchangeably use a function and a partition to denote the cut in this graph on Boolean hypercube. So in this gadget, we are interested in a graph that is the edge distribution. We already know what are the vertices. So we're interested in a graph such that the following two conditions hold. So the first one is that every dictator cut, for every dictator cut, the cut value is large. And for every cut which is far from any dictator, the cut value is small. So I will define what do I mean by the dictator cut and far from any dictator cut in the next slide. But before that, why is it interesting to study such a gadget? This is because if we have this gadget, then the result that I mentioned of KKMO, it uses this to show that it is hard to approximate max cut within a factor of S over C, assuming the unique games conjecture. And therefore the dictatorship test gadget directly translates into a hardness result. And larger the gap between C and S, better is the hardness result. So what are dictator functions? These are the functions which just depends on a single variable. So a dictator function is a function which outputs a single variable. In other words, the function value purely depends on a single coordinate. Okay. And opposite of a dictator function, a function is called far from any dictator if on average on any given coordinate cannot change the outcome of the function. And this is precisely captured by the notion of influence of a variable, which is the expected variance of a function when you flip the coordinate, when you flip the ith coordinate. Thus, the function is far from any dictator if all its influences have all its variables have low influences. Also note that dictator function has a variable whose influence is 1. And then that's why these functions whose all influences are low, these are called far from any dictator function. So the hardness result of max cut now follows from the existence of a graph on a Boolean hypercube with the required gap, and this is the integrity gap instance of the SGP. So what they show, KKMO, what they show is that one can create a dictatorship test gadget based on this integrity gap instance of SDP such that any dictator cut gives value which is equal to the SDP value, the semi-definite program value, that is the Rn embedding value of this graph. And any function which is far from any dictator, its value is at most the actual max cut value of this graph. Okay, and the work of Feige and Chachman shows that there are graphs where the integrity gap exactly matches the approximation factor of the Gomans and Williamson algorithm, and thus all these things put together, it gives the optimal hardness approximation for max cut. Right, so this gives tight hardness for max cut, assuming the unique games conjecture. Now let's try to see how to construct such a gadget for simultaneous max cut. The integrity gap instance of KKMO, it depends on the optimal choice of the so-called correlation parameter between the vertices, and one can try to get multiple instances of graphs on Boolean hypercube, which is what we need for simultaneous max cut, by varying this correlation parameter. However, such an instance of simultaneous max cut will not give a better hardness for simultaneous max cut. And the reason is kind of informally is that all these graphs they will be concentrated in the middle layer of the hypercube. That is, it is mostly concentrated on a vertices with Hamming weight n over 2. And the known algorithm for simultaneous max cut, it can give this alpha Guillemets-Williamson approximation for such structured instances. And thus it's not clear how one can even come up with a hard instance of simultaneous max cut. So here is one trick that helped in getting the improved hardness. That is, we can use different layers of the hypercube for different graphs. So more precisely, we construct 3 graphs on the Boolean hypercube. The graph G1 is concentrated around the kth slice of the hypercube. Q is some fixed number between 0 and 1. G2 is concentrated around 1 minus qth slice of the hypercube. And finally, our third graph G3 is almost a bipartite graph between the qth slice and the 1 minus qth slice of the hypercube. Now, since the improvement is of the order of 10 to the minus 5, it will be hard to provide an intuition for why graphs on these vertices give a hard instance for simultaneous max cut. And in fact, we arrive at these instances by essentially doing brute force search. So yeah, I clearly have no idea why only these instances, not only these instances, why these instances give gave this improved hardness. But although whatever I said is correct, there is one observation that led to trying such instances. So note that the best cut for G3 is putting the qth slice on one side and the 1 minus qth slice on the other side of the partition, right? Because it is essentially a bipartite graph, and this cut is the best for G3. But these are really bad cuts for G1 as well as G2. I mean, it essentially cuts 0 edges from G1 and G2. Thus, in some sense, there is some tension between these graphs, and so it made sense to try out these instances for this dictatorship test gadget for simultaneous max cut. Okay, so here is a full description of these graphs. Again, q is a number between 0 and 1. The choice of q is really important, but I will not specify it here in this talk. It's some number between 0 and 1. So we start with the graph G1. And the edge weights is given by the following distribution. So we randomly sample two Q bias strings A and B, which are row 1 correlated. Again, here row 1 is some parameter, and I will not state what the exact number row 1 is, as it will not lead to any insight. Plus, we also came up with it by trying every possibilities. Okay. So again, the distribution is very simple. It just depends on a single distribution mu1 on a pair of bits. For each coordinate I, we resample from the same distribution mu1 independently to get the final pair of strings A and B. The graph J2 is similar. Here we sample two 1 minus q bias strings which are row 2 correlated, again for some fixed constant row 2. Finally, G3, here the edge weight is given by the following distribution. We sample a pair of q biased and 1 minus q biased strings which are row 3 correlated. So again, this distribution also depends on just mu3, which is just a distribution on a pair of bits. So let's now analyze the dictatorship test for this instance of simultaneous max cut. So here I have shown the distribution mu1, mu2 and mu3 that define these graphs. Okay, these are just some probabilities associated with a pair of bits. Now fix any ith dictator. Now the value of cut in g1 given by this function is exactly the probability that f of a differs from f of b, where a and b, they are sampled from this age distribution. And since f is the ith dictator, this probability is exactly equal to the probability that ai is different from bi, where ai, bi, they are sampled from this distribution mu I. Okay, and this equals the green p2 plus p3 in case of graph g1. And similarly, we get the cut value for g2 as well as g3. Okay. And we select this probability such that all these p2 and p3, they add up to some fixed constant c star. Okay, and therefore we can conclude that no matter which dictator function you take, the simultaneous cut value of the instance is c star. Okay, so this is the completeness of the dictatorship test gadget of simultaneous max cut. And the difficult part is to analyze the soundness of the gadget, that is the value of the cut given by functions which are far from any dictators. And it turns out that the cut value, it only depends on the average value of a given function on the qth and the q1 minus qth slices. Okay, so here the the average of f on q slices is just the expected value of f, where x is sampled from the q bias distribution. And I would like to point out that this conclusion really helped in coming up with these hard instances, as we do not need to worry about checking exponentially many functions to analyze the soundness of the gadget. Okay, it just depends on some two real numbers. Okay, so let us see the analysis quickly. So in this slide, I'm going to analyze a general distribution mu, and the cut value for our graph g1, g2 and g3 can be analyzed from this by setting q1, q2 and rho appropriately. So the cut value of the graph given by f is the probability that f differs on a and b sampled from the edge distribution, in this case mu to the m. Right? And note that the expression f of a plus f of b minus 2 times f of a f of b is 1 only when f of a and f of b, they differ, and it is 0 otherwise. Right? And by linearity of expectation, this is equal to the expected value of f plus expected value of f of b minus 2 times expected value of f of a times f of b. Here again, the first expectation is just the q1 average of f, which is roughly the average value of f on the q1th slice. Similarly, the second one is the q2 average of f, and the difficult part is to analyze the last expectation. And we can get a bound on this expectation by using the invariance principle of Mossel. So it roughly says that if f is far from any dictator function, or in other words, if f has no influential variables, then the expectation is lower bounded by some expression that depends only on the correlation parameter rho and the q1 and q2 average of the function f. Again, this is some quantity related to two correlated Gaussians and can be computed efficiently given these three real numbers. Okay, now we can bound the cut value, and this depends only on the q1 and q2 average of f as required. So let's put everything together. Here is what we get when we plug in our graph parameters in the expression. Okay, We now analyze the simultaneous max cut value for a fixed setting of mu1, mu2 and mu3. Again, the exact probabilities can be found in the paper, and for the sake of simplicity I will not state what those exact numbers are. Okay, now since the cut value of G1 depends only on the average value of F based on the Q1 bias distribution, here is a region which gives the cut value, say at least this constant alpha minus 10 to the minus 5 times the completeness value C star. Okay, and this is given by the green region in this box. Right, it does not depend on the 1 minus qth average of F, it only depends on the expected value of F on the qth slice. Similarly, the cut value of G2 depends only on the average value of F based on the 1 minus q bias distribution. And here is the blue region which gives the cut value, which is at least this constant alpha minus 10 to the minus 5 times C star. And finally, here is the region for functions which give a good cut value on graph G3. Right, and in this case the value depends on both the qth average and the 1 minus qth average of F. Alright, the important point to note that there is no single point in this box which is good for all the graphs. And this can be seen by plotting these regions and analyzing the plots. We actually give a rigorous numerical proof of this fact that these three regions, they do not intersect at any point in the box. Okay, so what does this show? This shows that in this case, no matter which F you select, there is going to be one graph whose cut value is strictly less than this constant alpha minus 10 to the minus 5 times C star. In other words, in the soundness case, the simultaneous max cut value is going to be strictly less than alpha minus 10 to the minus 5 times C star. And therefore, we get a gap which is strictly smaller than this alpha Gomans-Williamson constant. Okay, and as I mentioned earlier, by using the standard procedure of composing a dictatorship test with unique games, we can compose this test with unique games and it gives the same hardness result, which is the ratio between the completeness and the soundness value. In this case, it is this constant alpha minus 10 to the minus 5. And this completes the proof of the main theorem. So let me conclude this talk by stating a few interesting open problems. One obvious question is to bridge this gap fully. Like I said, we did not try to optimize this constant 10 to the minus 5, but bridging this gap fully is still an interesting open problem and seems much harder to bridge the gap. Another question is what happens if the simultaneous max cut instance it has two graphs? Can we match the Gomans-Williamson approximation factor in this case? Or is it still strictly harder with two instances than the max cut problem? And finally, there is an analogous situation for max bisection problem. In max bisection, we are given, so we are interested in finding the best cut with an additional constraint that the cut or partitions, they must be balanced. That is, each part is of size exactly n over 2, where n is the number of vertices in the graph. Okay, and for this problem, there is a 0.877 approximation algorithm. And from the hardness side, the trivial hardness from the max cut hardness is currently the best known hardness for max bisection. And the question is, can this be improved? Can the hardness factor be improved, or can we get this alpha Gomans-Williamson approximation algorithm for max bisection? All right, so this will be the end of my talk, and thanks for listening.